it turns out that you have a superpower that you were not aware of. Again, this is based on, not to talk down to you, but this is based on presentations to thousands of people and asking them questions about what they know and they don't know. Most people don't know that they have a superpower in their brain called neuroplasticity. We have now proven definitively that you can grow any part of your brain that you want to till the day you die. That's incredible, because if you ignore this superpower, it goes to the lower brain, and the lower brain becomes dominant. If you're conscious about your life and your brain, you can cause the higher brain to become more dominant by putting the focus, time, and emotions and energy in that direction. So let's prove to you that you have this ability to grow your brain or shrink your brain. And here's a little view of the higher brain. There is, we call it fast C instead of C fast. So fast C is, there is a focus brain. There is an awareness brain. There is a stabilization brain that can literally shut the lower brain off. There is a transcendence brain where actually feelings of love and joy are there, and you can make this get stronger and stronger. Can you imagine that? It's truly fascinating. And then there's a connection brain, which allows you to connect to your genius networks. That's why there's an Einstein there, but also connect to yourself and be aware of your lower brain and connect to other human beings. That's a superpower part of the brain called the medial prefrontal cortex that has the ability to both cause awareness and connection. And so, proving to you that you have the superpower, there's the Nun study that demonstrated, it was a group of approximately 800 nuns who donated their brains for science after they died. Nuns are very spiritually evolved, but they weren't quite that evolved. But anyway, it's a little corny joke that I like to make. But the nuns, what they demonstrated in their brains posthumously is that many of them had Alzheimer's plaques that would have predicted clinical Alzheimer's, and none of them developed Alzheimer's. So they basically rerouted around the Alzheimer's plaques. Musicians, or excuse me, these are cab drivers. Sometimes we show brain slices of musicians, but cab drivers in London, they study them. And the part of their brain that corresponds to spatial awareness grew more and more. It's in the hippocampus, and that grew. And then when they retired, that part of their brain shrunk. It's truly fascinating. This is higher brain activation exercises. Meditation is just one example of that. But there are different things you can do to activate your higher brain, from prayer to chanting to mantras to mindfulness to what have you. And so this is an example where on the right you can see that the people who are doing more meditation, that part of their brain, higher brain, became more and more dominant over time. Because amazingly, your thoughts dictate where the blood goes in your brain. So that's a profound concept. Where you put your focus will allow you to channel the blood to higher brain to become more happy and powerful. But even better than that is that when that part of the brain starts to develop neuroplasticity and those neural networks become more dominant, they automatically pull the blood up to that part of the brain, so you don't have to keep consciously trying to go higher brain. You start to become unconsciously and automatically higher brain dominant. It's pretty awesome. And so what is the key to going? So this is an example of a neural network in your brain. This is your computer system. On the left is a big, long trunk, and that's what's called a neuron, and you have 100 billion of those when you're born and 100 billion when you die. And so we thought, man, once you're past about 10 years of age, basically you're done for. It's all downhill from there. Why even bother, right? But it turns out that the branches that come off those neurons, called dendrites, we actually can grow those till the day we die. That's really exciting. That's neuroplasticity. That means we can grow or shrink any part of our brain till the day we die. That's very hopeful. But what is the key to accelerating neuroplasticity? So not only do you have this superpower, but we know how to accelerate this superpower and where to target the superpower. That's pretty exciting as well. So think about that for a second. What do you think the key is to growing your neural networks? Turns out that it's feedback tolerance. How much feedback can you tolerate? Anders Ericsson, in his book Peak, he's considered to be sort of the godfather of the science of genius. And he was the one that proved that it was, 10,000 or 7,500 hours to achieve mastery. We proved that it wasn't talent and intelligence that was a predictor of being great in anything. He goes on to say, more important than time is the dimension of so-called deliberate practice, which means when you're going through all dimensions of life, how are you practicing? How are you measuring that you're actually getting better? That's the key, is taking feedback in the form of other human beings giving you feedback, communities or departments giving you feedback, metrics to measure how you're actually doing, but also being very self-aware of whether you're being, what are your emotions and what is your lower brain telling you, and using that negative energy to channel it upward to grow more neural networks. Different ways to get feedback from your brain, body, measurement, and life. This is a great book by John Doerr, considered by many to be the godfather of Silicon Valley, behind such great companies as Google and indirectly Apple and Amazon. Pretty remarkable. All these very successful companies, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, FANG, F-A-A-N-G, and Microsoft, cracked the code of Agile. You see, they learned that if you cycle fast and you fail fast, you learn faster, right? So they figured out how to enhance neuroplasticity and enhance group neuroplasticity and systems plasticity. You see? So any of us can do this.